Anything interesting in today's newspaper? What's interesting? What's interesting? Ethics committee article by PDT Achari is interesting. Huh? Okay. Apart from that, hmm. Some unknown government authority. Very big word. Either. Okay. Hmm. Is it government authority or some unknown authority? Hmm. So what you see in the front page, that is Apple cyber attack alert, opposition corners government. So why it is in the news? Apple has alerted, Apple the famous company has alerted certain opposition leaders and journalists are being targeted by a state sponsored attack. It's a state sponsored attack. So attacks can also be from non-state actors. Attacks can also be from non-state actors. Let's imagine North Korean hackers, Russian hackers, Chinese hackers. Sorry? Again, we don't have any proof, no? We cannot blame government just like that. Okay? We have to be very clear in our understanding. See, it's easy to say something, but do you have any backup? Do you have any backup? Backup is more important. Okay? So, the thing here is, one of the threats is state sponsored attack. State sponsored attack means deliberately somebody within the system is asking certain companies or certain people who are for hire. Okay, say government don't directly tell CBI or police officers you do this. Probably they will also hire some third party, some company. They will try to infiltrate the phones. Okay, luckily high-end phones like Apple or Samsung high-end phones or Google, they will have deliberate security mechanisms. They will have inbuilt hardware blockage mechanisms. Okay, but it is no guarantee. See, there is a concept called as zero exploit. There is a concept called as zero exploit. What is zero exploit? It's a loophole either in your hardware process or in your software where some hacker can come in and start looking at your data. Normally Apple, Google and all these things are very secure. Okay, but even the designer, that means the person who wrote the code for Apple security, even he doesn't know that there is a loophole, but somebody found that loophole. Using that loophole, he is entering into your iPhone. Normally iPhone is very secure. Okay, these are called as zero-day exploits. Okay, and if I am a hacker, I have discovered what zero-day exploit, then I will put it for sale. Do you want to know your details about somebody? Okay, I will give you the data, but you have to pay me certain amount of money. There are companies which specialize only in these zero-day exploits. For example, NSO, the company which created the Pegasus software. Okay, which is a startup in Israel. Okay, right? Now, if this is true, assuming if it is true, hypothetically, okay, this is a very severe breach of proprietary, that is fundamental rights. Okay, right to privacy is my fundamental right. Okay, so some mechanism is violating right to privacy. Okay, not only that, they are also breaking the law. Who have the permission to snoop on people? Government of India, if it believes you are a terrorist or a national security threat, joint secretary or above or IPS something, some person with a high cadre can give in written permission. Yes, this person phone should be tapped. Then I can tap your phone calls. Okay, that is fine. But you cannot install software in people's phones so that you will observe their every type, every letter, every phone call, video call, every message. You don't have such deep permissions. Okay, Telegraph Act and all this will allow snooping up to a certain level. Okay, so Telegraph Act was created way back in 1894, I guess. Okay, slowly it was upgraded, but Pegasus and all these things are not even something that IT Act can understand. As I keep saying, technology is always light years ahead from the regulation. By the time I bring in regulation, you will bring in something new like Pegasus. Clear? Okay. So let's not go into political side of this article. Let's go into the technical side of this article and overall understanding. Okay. So if you look at the third page, third line, the targets includes Congress President Mallikarjun Kharge, Trinamool Congress MP, Telangana Minister, IT Minister. All most of them are from opposition parties. Okay. Not only now, even during Pegasus case, if you look whose phones were targeted, back then also it was always opposition parties and people who are filing cases against government, so on and so forth. Okay. It's rare that you find somebody in power being targeted. Okay. This is not problem of BJP or Congress. This is problem of parties in power. When they have excellent surveillance mechanisms, they should use it for the welfare of the people, but they should not use it on opposition parties. Clear? Okay. So what is that attack that I have mentioned? What is the attack style? What is the word? 0-day exploit. The name you have to remember. The name is what? 0-day exploit. That is even more important. For prelims, these are the questions. For example, brute force attack, 0-day exploit. Okay, all these are types of attacks. Okay, brute force means, as the name says, what? Brute force. You are trying to break the passwords brute forcefully by repeatedly trying 1 2 3 4 4 4 2 3 2 1. That is brute force. But Pegasus is what? A 0-day exploit, a very smart. And Pegasus is so smart that it will first observe your phone usage pattern. For example, if you look at modern day high-end phones like iPhone, Apple and etc., Samsung, what they will do is they will do something called as battery optimization. That means the phone actually knows when this fellow sleeps usually. This fellow sleeps by 11 and wakes up at 6. So if you keep your phone to charging at night, okay, the charging doesn't happen overnight. It will slowly trickle down. By the time you wake up, that is 6 p.m., the phone will make sure your charging reaches 100%. And the phone usage patterns are observed by softwares. Okay, Pegasus will also first observe your usage pattern. Why? If you are using Pegasus, I mean, if your phone is uploading data, it will get warm. So it will know when to upload data also, so that you won't get any suspicion. Your phone won't get slowed down, it won't get warm and all these things. It will be perfectly normal, but every single type, how many times you unlock, everything will be sent to servers. So it's a very highly advanced thing, very costly thing. It's not some random spyware. Okay, right? The other side of the story is everyday encryption, cyber security needs to get stronger and stronger, or else you won't survive. Okay, if it was MI phone or something, they wouldn't even have noticed that the phones were hacked. Clear? Okay. Next, federalism GS paper 2. Tamil Nadu moves against Governor Ravi over delay in clearing bills. Okay, so what will Supreme Court do? What can Supreme Court do? See, here it's a moral thing. It's a moral thing between the governor and the state. Governors are not representative of the central government. Governors are a constitutional body. They are the bridge between central government and state government. They should not act as a representative of central government. That is very important point you have to remember. Okay, when a governor is appearing like he is against the state government or he is having a vendetta towards the state government, there is a issue, right? The Vice President of India right now, I think he was formerly Governor of Bengal, West Bengal. Okay, who is Vice President of India? Okay, I am sorry for him, not for you. Okay, right. So, okay, Vice President of India was formerly Governor of West Bengal. Okay, what happened? He appeared like he was very favorable to the central government and against the state government. It is also considered as a reward posting because he took fighting with Mamata Banerjee. He was rewarded with That let's not go into politics, but you understand the concepts, right? Governors are constitutional body. They have a responsibility towards the state governments also. By delaying the bills deliberately, they are affecting the right of the people who choose that particular state government. See, Tamil Nadu people voted for DMK or whatever party that is. Okay, you don't like it, but you have to live with it. That is democracy. Yes or no? If BJP doesn't like DMK, there is nothing that DMK can do. Why Tamil Nadu people like DMK? Andhra people like YSRCP. Telangana people like TRS. At least the parties in power I am talking about, right? They liked them, they voted for them, they are in power. If you don't like them, you cannot send governors or opposition to the party, keep fighting with the chief ministers, stopping the bills, and all these things cannot be entertained. So governors should also display some constitutional values. Okay. Now what Supreme Court can do is Supreme Court can request Mr. Ravi probably to pass the bill or ask him the reasons, or it will say, why involve me? It's a issue between you and you. You both have a tea party. Stalin and Ravi can have a tea party, they can discuss freely. What's your problem? What's my problem? Probably problem will be solved. Okay. Okay, so this is one more article about India-Bangladesh relations, right? In your mains answer writing in GS paper 2 IR Bangladesh, what are the steps or what are the convergence points between India and Bangladesh? High connectivity, multimodal connectivity projects. That means because Bangladesh is like this, the three sides is India. Yes or no? If you look at Bangladesh map, three sides in India, one side is ocean. This side also is India, technically speaking. So Bangladesh is surrounded by India. So this Indian state and that Indian state are separated by Bangladesh. If we have railway connectivity and all these things, the time will be coming down, and also it will improve people to people relations, P2B, B2B and G2G relations. That is people to people, business to business, and government to government relations. P2P, B2B and G2G relations. Okay. So what happens when more and more people from India and Bangladesh are talking to each other, traveling, communication is happening, the ties between these two countries will increase, commerce will increase, dependency will increase. All these are advantages. Okay. It also shows how well India and Bangladesh are connected. Okay. So just remember, stronger the connectivity, better the relationship. Less connectivity, less relationship. Right. Rule number 1 for ethics case studies is common sense. When you are in power, you are not supposed to aggravate the problem, you are supposed to reduce the problem. When you are in a responsible position, you should not promote communalism, hatred and all these things. If you do, you are punishable by law. So yesterday we all know the Kerala bomb blast case has happened. Later it took a communal angle, and one central minister has made some statements against the Kerala state, alleging that state is promoting jihad and all these things. So it is like in promoting enmity between two different communities. So now Kerala is filing a case against that particular central minister, right? So this should be a lesson for all people in power, that whenever something happens, don't immediately give it communal color. There is no need for that. There is already enough hate in the market. You don't have to promote more hate. Okay. Next. Ethics Parliamentary Committee and Indian MP. So PDT Acharya was former Lok Sabha secretary, right? He understands the nuances very nicely. What is the major takeaway from this article? The major takeaway from this article is, whenever a breach of privilege is there, that is you taking money for asking questions, first of all it's wrong. It's morally wrong. Why? You are elected by the people so that you will ask questions. Why should you take money for that? If you are taking money from certain people, that is called as lobbying, right? LOBBYING, lobbying. What is lobbying? That means some people are giving you money to ask a particular question that might favor them. So if you are asking a question, you should be asking for the welfare of the people, not for welfare of some people. Okay, so that is a core problem. First is morally it is wrong. Second thing, in India there is a committee called as privilege committee. That committee should be taking care of the cases. Third thing, if you are a government servant and taking money, that is called as corruption. It will come under Prevention of Corruption Act. Okay, so here this is a unique case where ethics committee is spearheading what privilege committee and anti-corruption bureau should be dealing with. Okay, and first of all, is there an ethical case? Is there a case there? For example, sharing passwords and all these things is a common practice. Yes or no? You may not be available all the time in the office. You will give your password to whom? Your interns or subordinates. That doesn't make there is a corruption. Okay, so like this there are a lot of dilemmas. Let's not go into the depth of the discussion here because it's purely based on the politics, but understand this, whatever judgment that will come out of it will be a landmark, that will be a benchmark for others. Okay, now what other things are there? He talks about what is the purpose of ethics committee, what kind of crimes should ethics committee deal with. Okay, he cites certain funny examples. One MP takes a female friend to parliament visit saying she is my wife. Okay, so ethics, breach of ethics. And some other MP, even genius, he takes some other lady and a boy saying that they are my wife and children to foreign trip. Okay, all these are ethical violations. Okay, you have MP stickers on the car, not for show off purpose, they have some purpose, right? We parking and all these things will be easier, but again there is a scam there also. So these are all what small immoral things, now unbecoming of a parliamentarian. Parliamentarians should work for people, not for their own privileges. Okay, so just remember that much. Ethics committees. I didn't find what to tell you, what is a value addition part there. So again, unless you define something, this is unethical, this is ethical, we don't know what should the ethics committee deal with. Yes or no? First of all, ethics committee should have a list of things. Okay, this, if you do these things, it will come under us, or something in that angle. Okay, okay, or else everything will come under one single line, that is called as code of conduct. As an MP, ethically, you are not supposed to do wrong things, whether it's corruption, whether it's crime, whether it's, you know, anything else. Okay, people go to parliament and they sleep in the last benches. If you see Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha, sometimes they will be like happily sleeping, just like some of you, right? So what happens? It's a crime, no? Why? They are enjoying the privileges. It takes so many crores of rupees to run parliament. Even food is subsidized. Yes or no? When government is, we hired you as an MP so that you will talk on behalf of us. You will discuss for the okay. Suddenly again he will go back to sleep, and everybody is clapping. He will also do this. Okay, colonial legacy, right? We cannot even clap like this. Why? I hope you understand. So that is a crime. In my opinion, that is a moral crime. And there are some state assemblies where people were caught watching porn films in assemblies. Okay, so I cannot even know what to say. All these are purely morally wrong things, right? So immoral things should not be done by the parliamentarians. So we should have ethics syllabus, ethics test for parliamentarians. Why should only UPSC aspirants have all the fun? No, even ethics syllabus should be introduced for parliamentarians. Yes or no? What will happen? Everybody will pass with flying colors. Okay. Nothing new, already discussed. Stock taking, climate finance, a case of circles in red ink. Okay, we all know 2 points. One is 1.5 degrees is the maximum limit. Already we have reached 1.1. We only have buffer of 0.4 degrees. If we take Paris Agreement, the buffer is 0.9 degrees, that is up to 2 degrees. So we are at 1.1, maximum is 1.5, even riskier is 2. We cannot cross more than 2 degrees. So we already crossed 1.1 degrees in comparison to pre-industrial era. This is the global temperature scenario. Okay. Now, who is the reason for increasing the temperature? Developed countries. Developing countries did not do any damage to the planet. Developing countries are now trying to do the damage for our own growth. Okay, what did developed countries do? Developed countries have used all the fossil fuels they are supposed to use, and now they are rich countries. So who should give money to whom? Developed countries should give money to the developing countries. Are they giving? No. Should they? Yes. That is the article. I think. And no matter how many hundreds of times we read the same point again and again in different terms like green climate fund, climate action, global fund, etc., etc. Bottom line is this. And unfortunately, climate change does not need, or climate change do not require visas, passports, etc. Yes or no? Global warming happens everywhere. It is not only the headache of developed countries. See, for example, if it was a headache of let's say e-waste or nuclear waste, what geographically limited? E-waste is geographically limited. For example, America is producing a lot of e-waste. Because it's a rich country, it will go to some African country, some poor African country, and it will get an agreement with that African country. Every year I will give you $5 billion. To whom? To the African general. What do I need? I need 1,000 acres of your land so that I can dump the e-waste. That problem is very easy to solve for the rich countries. But unfortunately, climate change won't work like that, no? When glaciers melt in Antarctica and Arctica, it will also affect USA. Because it is affecting rich countries also, in spite of all these things, they are not still doing anything. That is a sad state of affairs. Okay, got my point? So first line says everything, right? Strong political will. What is strong political will? Developed countries having a will to change the things. Okay. He cites a wonderful example. It is an old example, but it's a wonderful example. When 2008 global crisis happened, okay, all the rich countries came running. Array, we need to save the global economy. So what did they do? They have pulled $1.1 trillion in a week or in few weeks so that they can work on the recovery of global financial status. Okay. So when climate is getting damaged every single day, when tipping points are changing, what are you doing? Nothing. Why? No political will, no immediate impact. See, and I will tell you in my own understanding, I will tell you, if you go outside this classroom and talk to Indians, normal Indians like parents, your watchmen, anyone, 9 out of 10 of them have never heard about something called as AGI, artificial general intelligence. They are not bothered about it. They have heard about ChatGPT, but they haven't heard about AGI. So AGI is not their problem. Genetically engineered virus. Okay. Climate change, glacier melting, polar bears are not finding any land to hunt. Polar bears are dying. Chandrababu Naidu got a bail. Yes, people will tap. You understand my problem, right? 9 out of 10 ordinary Indians do not have a clue. And I'm not saying that is their problem. They have their life. They are busy. Somebody is working from 9 to 5 in a bank. He doesn't have time to read all these things. He doesn't have time to worry about the bigger problems. His immediate problem is what? His son's fees. or his father's insurance, something like that. So majority of the world, 99% of the world is like this only, right? Ordinary people happily living in their own comfort zone. Only 1% of the world actually knows the problems, the long term ramifications and all these things. So 99 people are not knowing, 1% is shouting. Will the games change? No. when when it when it becomes so big, like it cannot go back, 20, 30, 40, 50% of the population starts shouting, then we will do something about it. That is a burden you have to understand. Clear? So that is why Joe Biden is not bothered about it. Prime Minister Modi says, but nobody listens. All these are not the problems of the world. These are the problems of only cream, the leaders, the policy makers, the environmentalists. For an ordinary Indian, how can I explain that, array, if polar bears die in, Arctic or Antarctica, okay, your Goa will also vanish away. Unless Goa vanishes, they won't understand what is sea level rise. Got my point? So be very clear in judging the political will and all these things. But global financial crisis, everybody will understand immediately. Why people will lose jobs? Immediately. That is a problem. That has to be solved. Clear? Not only this, I will give one more example. Few years ago in France, I think there is a very famous church or synagogue. I don't know. It is very famous for architecture. It burned down. Okay, somehow some accident happened and it burned down. As far as I remember, within 20 days of that incident, all the world came together and pooled around $500 million so that they can revive it. If people know something, they will do something, but people don't know, they won't do. Clear? Okay. So this article is useful for GS paper 2, especially if your optional is public administration or in governance paper. Okay. Staff shortages, financial dependency plague local governments. What are local governments? Panchayati Raj and municipalities. These two are not having funds. Without funds, they cannot grow and develop. So they have given wonderful chart here saying that, what is the problem in India. That entire process is purely politicized. Okay, from mayor election all the way till how things work is politicized, bureaucratized. Okay, actually panchayats or municipalities don't have that kind of power. It totally depends on the whims and fancies of the political parties, politicians in power. So state finance commissions actually do not devolve enough funds to the panchayats and municipalities. So if you don't have funds, what will you do? You cannot do anything. So from that perspective, please read this article. It's purely technical, right? There is nothing to explain. Bottom line is this: if they are having their own finances and they are not dependent on state government, they can do something. If they are totally dependent on the state, I will tell you a simple example. Somebody is encroaching the road. They constructed a car parking in the main road. Okay, that house belongs to MLA, assuming so. As a municipal officer, can I go and say, sir, please remove your car parking? I may or may not. It depends totally on lot of things. That dependency should go away. Municipality should be totally free. That is why some municipal commissions have tried to issue bonds called as municipal bonds, so that they will raise some money. But again, how many people are actually buying municipal bonds? Are you giving returns? Okay, do you have independence? Second, in other countries, mayors of big cities go on to become prime ministers and presidents of their countries. That means if I give you enough freedom, for example, if Hyderabad mayor have a lot of power, he develops Hyderabad, he plans in such a way that Hyderabad is sustainable, smart city. Array, this fellow is a wonderful leader. Let's make him the chief minister, or let's make him the prime minister. Like this, people will think. But if the mayor is just a dummy candidate, a rubber stamp, what will he do? That is not the mayor's problem, right? Again, bureaucratization and all these things. Clear? Again, this is an old article, but we have discussed already a lot about Pegasus. So please keep in mind, some terms are wonderful. See, for example, mercenaries. Who are mercenaries? Have you ever heard about the term mercenary? Here they use a term Indian cyber mercenaries. Mercenaries are trained soldiers or ex-soldiers who can be used by private entities. Very famous in USA. Okay. Mercenary means gunfire hire. That means you are a soldier and you have all the capabilities of a soldier and you can be hired by any private entity for security establishment or to go to a different country, etc. etc. You get my point? Here they are what? Cyber mercenaries. That means you are a hacker, you have the capability of following someone, hacking someone's phone, etc. etc. I can hire you to spy on opposition parties. See, these all things starts very basically with cyber espionage. Cyber, sorry, corporate espionage. What is corporate espionage? Let's imagine he have a company, he have a company. Both of them are working on the same product. Okay, I am a cyber mercenary. He will come to me, he will pay me 10,000 rupees or something, example wise, and I will hack his phone and I will see who is he talking to, what are their plans, etc. etc. I will tell him who will have the competitive advantage. He will have the competitive advantage. This is called as cyber espionage. Okay, very common practice in the world. So now that is being applied by political parties, opposition leaders, etc. etc. Right? So there are companies now dedicatedly to spy on people. Okay. Strictly speaking, we need to have a proper surveillance mechanisms. We cannot allow unlimited free power to the state. Okay. When we give too much power to the state to surveillance, for surveillance on the people, it becomes a surveillance state. That is what George Orwell says in his 1984 novel, that Big Brother is watching you. When Big Brother is watching you, what does that mean? Somebody is always watching you. You don't have any privacy. That is very, very important. Okay. Now, I have a question. Do you know the term oxymoron? Oxymoron. Like oxymoron, it's a term, it's a meaning. That means two opposite things cannot coexist. Okay. Cyber and privacy, or online and privacy. Either you have internet or you have privacy. You cannot have privacy on internet or in internet. Yes or no? Internet and privacy cannot coexist. You have to think about it. Yes. Where were you from the morning till evening? Your smartphone knows more information about it rather than anybody else. Which towers did it ping to? Which Wi-Fi's did it try to connect to? Okay. Which SMSs came to your phone? Where were you? Everything actually who knows? Your phone knows. Okay. The moment you are connected to online, is there a privacy? Right? Do we have a guarantee that the phone is not leaking the information to some third party company, or the cookies are not being hacked to tailor suit a profile for you? Yes. Have you ever compared Google feed with your friend? When we swipe left on our phones, Google feed will come, no? Is your Google feed and your friend's Google feed same? No? Got my point? Yes. One more topic in the news is about electoral bonds. Okay, so recently Supreme Court has started discussing this very, very important case, only 4 years late. Right? Electoral bonds. Basics about electoral bonds can be read by you, no confusions there. They are simple mechanism, KYC based bonds which can be purchased by anyone, and you can donate the bonds to respective political parties. Everything is done legally correctly, but the purpose is promoting some gray areas. That means KYC is known to State Bank of India or the RBI, right? But then political parties will always know who is donating whom. The anonymity does not need that does not extend it to political parties. That means there is some gray area. I will explain to you in detail some other day. But the point here is Electoral bonds have certain issues. Okay, government is saying no, everything is fine. Electoral bonds is the best thing that is happening, or else electoral funding will become a problem. Lawyers like Prashant Bhushan are arguing that electoral bonds are being misused by parties in power. For example, whoever is in power, not BJP or Congress, whoever is in power will get maximum amount of money. Why? Everybody wants to give money to the party in power, ruling party. Very few people want to give money to opposition parties. But once you come back into power, again they will give money to you. That's a different scenario, right? So in this entire drama, there is some amount of gray area which is leading to lack of transparency in political funding. So Supreme Court is hearing arguments. Once the final judgments comes out, what will be allowed, what will be removed, that you notice. Okay, don't no need to do PhD on this particular topic. Final judgment of Supreme Court, if it comes one day, right, it will tell what will be left in the electoral bonds, who can buy, what will be good for political parties, for government, for buyer, everything will be suggested by Supreme Court, hopefully. Or else in the last Supreme Court will again say, that is for Parliament to decide, not for Supreme Court. Then we cannot do anything. October rainfall in South India, 6th lowest since 1901. So this article says rainfall is not healthy, rainfall is not proper in South India. Why? One most obvious lazy example is climate change. Because of climate change, El Nino, La Nina, all these things, rainfall is not happening. What are the consequences? Obviously, inflations will increase, food prices will increase, supply will decrease. Clear? That's it from Hindu, I guess. So, Prime Minister is asking, strive to make India a developed country by 2047. Something unfortunate, but you can use in essay and ethics paper also. Gaza, a graveyard for thousands of children. United Nations. So, United Nations is arguing that already enough damage has happened in Gaza Strip. It's high time that Israel listens to the world leaders, UN, and stops bombarding Gaza region. Okay, see, Gaza is a geographical region, right? Gaza Strip. It has to stop so that some lives will be saved. Clear? Our stand is very clear. We are not at all supporting Hamas or a terrorist organization. We are supporting innocent Palestinians. Okay, and what Israel has also done is a wrong thing. Okay, clear. There is one interesting article today in the Indian Express by Dr. C. Raja Mohan. So in London there is going to be a summit for artificial intelligence. So very interesting topic. Definitely expected for mains area. It started now. More articles will come, but keep an eye on the thought process. What is the thought process? USA, Europe, Britain, India, China, every country is now trying to bring in something called as regulation for artificial intelligence. Now, what is regulation? What is the basic purpose of regulate? Sorry? Privacy matters. No, forget about AI. What is regulation generally? Regulation is restriction. Regulation is control. Is it control or restriction? Or guiding? Or navigating? What do regulators do? Who are some of the regulators you know? Yesterday. Who are some of the regulators you know? RBI. Okay. RBI, TRAI, SEBI, all these are what? Regulatory bodies. See, regulator means it's not about stopping something. See, regulator should know when to allow something to grow, when not to allow something to grow. Okay, he should have the discretion. How much bigger circle should I give for these players to play? You simply understand, right? For example, if Jio is bringing a plan 499 rupees 1 year, unlimited internet, okay, it will literally destroy other companies. That is not a competitive price and it is not sustainable. Try should have the courage to say this is wrong or something like that. So you should regulate the market so that market will thrive, right? Now artificial intelligence is something new. Okay, if you regulate it too tightly, you are killing the innovation. You are killing the innovation. Many people will not be interested to invest in artificial intelligence. At the same time, it's a fire which cannot be controlled. It's like the Pandora's box, or it's like the genie out of the bottle. Once I rub the genie, what will happen? The lamp, genie will come out. Once the genie will come out, can I send him back into the lamp? It becomes very difficult. Do you even know the nth ramification of artificial intelligence? For example, what is the first ramification of artificial intelligence? Sir, it is biased. It will lead to job loss. Yes or no? It will lead to some fake news, deep fakes. These are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 problems. I am asking you, what is the 20th problem that will come out of artificial intelligence? Do you have an idea? Did you even think about it? It will take over the humanity and all those things, are we still have some time. Yes, that is doomsday scenario is also true. Okay, that is why people suggest a kill switch. That means you turn off one switch, entire artificial intelligence will die. So there are some solutions, but again, we don't know whether they are practical or not, or will AI develop its own safety mechanisms, so on and so forth. Okay, the entire movie Terminator was based on that, right? Terminator, AI algorithms, etc. So what I'm trying to tell you is, you are a creator of artificial intelligence. You created a software to change photos. For example, my eyes are closed. Next photo, my eyes are open. Then you will mix both the photos and create a third photo saying my eyes are open. You created with all the good intentions. Okay, will I use it only for good purposes or bad purposes? There is a very good potential I can use it for bad purposes. So should I restrict you from creating such app? That is where the debate is. What is the risk? See, there is an argument. AI should be based on sector by sector basis. Ante, for example, in health, it will have more implications. In photography, nobody cares. Okay. In agriculture, it will have implications. In health ability has implications. I allowed an artificial intelligence app. You scanned your skin and it said you have skin cancer. Okay. Let's say it turned out to be true, you are saved. Okay. But what if it misdiagnoses? Or if it does not diagnose properly, who is to be blamed? You get the ramification, right? Risk is higher in health. Risk is higher in agriculture. Is risk higher in photographs? Like general basic change photos. Our Photoshop is already there, no? Now my point is, we don't know the 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th consequence of you allowing photograph swap. Okay, women can be harassed. Okay, fake news websites might be created. People will kill each other. In my mind, health is a bigger problem. Changing photos is not a bigger problem. But for society, changing photos will actually lead to communal violence. Got my point? So artificial intelligence regulation is a very delicate thing where if I regulate, it will kill innovation. If I don't regulate, I don't know the consequence. Okay. In such dire states, in such confused state, the world is entering or trying to regulate the artificial general intelligence or artificial intelligence. It's nobody's case to argue that there should not be regulation. Yes, there should be regulation. Okay, there are even suggestions like environmental impact assessment is there. Okay, artificial intelligence assessment should be there. And whenever you are launching a software, your software should go through an audit process where it will have some impact assessment. Okay, so that this software will create good things, bad things, this should be not happening, this should be allowed. So somebody should try to regulate. Okay, here the problem is, let's say I am a ethical country, India is a ethical country, governance wise also. Okay, I am trying to restrict certain softwares, don't allow, don't allow, don't allow. Okay, somebody sitting in South Korea or somebody sitting in Russia has released that software. Okay, don't you think it will reach India also? Can we stop software from coming? Anything cyber cannot be stopped. Yes or no? In today's world, can you ban a book? Can you ban a movie? What will happen if you ban a movie? It will get more popular. People will get more curious. They will download it in Telegram and they will start watching. If you don't do anything, actually nobody will know that movie came and went. But the moment you ban it, it becomes more popular. I hope you understand. So in such a world, when normal technology cannot be controlled, can we actually control AIs and AGIs? How? Okay, one of the suggestions some other person gives is something like IAEA, International Atomic Energy Agency. Nuclear energy is controlled by Atomic Energy Agency, right? So in the same way, there should be some global agency which will scrutinize certain AGIs, new technologies. For example, ChatGPT 9 or something. Okay, they will scrutinize and they will say it is too dangerous for the world, it should not be released or something like that. But again, it's a very thin line to cross. Okay, so just keep an eye on this particular topic. Definitely you are going to see a lot of discussion on this area. It's a very interesting area. If we don't regulate, somebody else will regulate. China has its own view. China has a top-down approach. China will say, hey, this software is gone, katam. That software will go away from the market. But again, you have to remember, it's a decentralized world. He, with a laptop, can create his own LLM. And he can release it. How many people can I control? Yes. So the world is going more and more into open source areas, and it becomes very complicated to stop the artificial intelligence. So what are the ethics of AI? Should we stop it? Yes, no. This discussion will continue. Okay. You have class now? Yes, we'll continue tomorrow. Thank you.